Hello everybody, welcome back to Sprocket Man Designs. What I intend to do today with these 6 sprockets you see lying before you is basically polish them up so they're ready to weld them together in pretty much that formation, then do the same with another 6 sprockets. Before welding though, what I've got to do is cut out from the centre of all of them and the other 6 the diameter of a standard British beer bottle. You've heard of wine racks? I thought I'd make a beer rack. While I was doodling around with this idea the other day, it occurred to me it would be kind of nice if it had a bottle opener on the top of it. So to that end I got on with it. Strange how I made the finishing piece before I started making the bits I needed first. But what I've done, I've taken an old spanner, there you go, cut the bottom part of the jaw away, and that now works quite nicely on a bottle cap. I then welded the whole lot onto a rubbish bike spanner, and that will get welded onto the top roughly in that kind of position, so you've got your beers in it and you can hopefully open one of them with that. So that's one of the finishing pieces, so I'm going to put that in a safe place where I will be able to find it, and we all know what happens when I do daft things like that. Okay, let's put it on top of my pillar drill. At least it's in front of my face when I walk in, eh? Okay, so cracking on then, what I'm going to do is keep that one spare because I need that for the lining up process. The other thing I have done before I move all this lot out the way to start grinding is I took several photos of that layout so I can get the spacing right again with a bit of luck. I've managed to get a glue on the bench top. So, geez. That's pretty grim. At some point I will have to deeply degrease and clean my bench top. So, like I say, what we've got to get done now is polishing up everything you see before you. So, as ever, this is where we'll start. Once I've done this one, you don't have to watch me do 11 more. Okay, so in principle, there's the first one. It's not in principle, it's in fact I've done it. But this should all end up looking as shiny as that. I'll bring you back in a minute when I've got a few more ready, and we'll look at the process of cutting these out to the right internal diameter. Then I've got to work out with the atom of foam the correct order in which to lay them up again, so I've got all the spacings right, so I'm happy. That's going to be a tall order, and then it's just a matter of working out how to join the two lots together. Haven't got as far as that yet, but that is a bridge I will jump off when I get to it. Right, see you in a minute. Okay, so a quick update. I've now got all 12 sprockets polished back. These 3 that I've already gone at with the die grinder and taken the centres out. This next one I'm going to wave around like a buffoon. Should be able to see the marks on there where I'm going to take it out with the die grinder. And if you're wondering why I'm doing this one on its own, it's because the next ones are a different pattern in the centre, so I want to make sure I get each one right. So when you take your empty beer bottle, in this instance anyway, it passes through quite easily, and I've still got to measure up and work out the length, where to fit the spanners on it so it sits right. Anyway, that's that. So I'll now begin the process of grinding out another middle. Thanks to the guys at Brian Pope and Sons, I've worked out what I was doing wrong last time with the die grinder, and that was basically running it too fast, so it overheated the grinding bit. So this time I'm running it slower. Yeah, it takes a little bit longer, but it's not overheating the bit, so it should last longer, in theory. But we'll see. I will let you know. Okay, so all the sprockets have had the middles cut out there. I now have a pile of bits like that. I'm not going to throw those away because I don't know why, but I can see them becoming something else, but that's for another day. Although I think I've just thought of what it is they can become. God, I'm distracting myself. Right, laid up the first 2 sprockets I'm going to weld together, got them clamped down, so I guess there's nothing else for it but to actually weld them. Let's see how this turns out, and if I'm happy with it, get the other side done, get the top 3 put on, and then do the other 6 and then work out how I'm going to support it all while welding it all together. That is a bridge I have yet to cross. Mind you, I don't exactly know where that bridge is just now, so that will be excitement for another time. So, I've just been trying to work out why I couldn't see clearly what I was doing. I've taken my glasses off. Here. Oop. Where have I put my... What is it when you need your brush? It is always behind 3 pairs of pliers. Or in this case, 2 pairs of pliers and 2 pairs of side cutters. There is a certain inevitability, I suppose. Might just give that just a tad more. Okay, that looks a lot better. Right, so for my next trick I've now got to get the other side lined up, clamped down and ready. And then weld it, get the next tier put on and then the top one. Back in a minute. Okay, after a lot of messing about with clamps and things, we have one end built. I've now just got to get the other one done, give it all a quick polish, then put the mounting plates on, so it's going to stand up kind of like, well, it'll be vertical actually. Instead of talking gibberish, why don't I use a convenient magnet? So there you go, it'll stand a bit like that, and if I just, there we go. Yep, I think that's all good. So it'll sit kind of like that, and then with a bit of luck and a bit of careful grinding, that will sit across the top between the two. I'll have another couple at the bottom to stabilise it. And there we have it, one bottle rack. That's the plan, that's the plan. I'll bring you back in the final moments. Okay, so I've got either end assembled now, they're all ready to go. So what we're going to do next is polish up 3 spanners. I'll show you the first one, then measure up, line up, weld it. Didn't that sound easy? I'm beginning to think it's getting close to time for a new flatbed. And in a very Star Trek way, that is one of 3. I can hang that. Let's put that there. I'll come back when I've worked out basically how I'm going to line everything up, hold it in place and start sticking it together. See you in a minute. Okay, so here we are, moment of truth time. As you can see, I've got the first spanner firmly clamped down, one end held at 90 degrees with a magnet. The reason I've put the other loose spanner under there is to make sure the whole thing's level, because that is pressed down firmly onto it. He says triple checking. All that remains to be done now is go at it with a bit of heat and electricity and see what happens next. So, wish me luck. One other thing I've also done is grind back the teeth at the bottom of each sprocket, so I've got a flatter, more even area to weld onto, or at least that was my bright idea. Whether that comes to fruition, we're about to find out. And I think I've just welded it to my bench top. Oops. Well, it's standing up on its own. So all I've got to do now is weld on that end, make sure it's square, move the whole thing across, get this side on, then put the end in, or the opposite end in, put the top on it, smile happily, run like hell to spray quit powder coating, and see how long it takes them to stop laughing at me. Anyway, you've seen the basic idea. I'll show you a bit more in a minute, hopefully when it's pretty much done. See you then. And there we go. So I guess now at least I've got an excuse to go out and buy half a dozen bottles of beers to make sure it's strong enough to hold them all. And just to prove the point, I would have actually burst into tears if that hadn't fitted at that point, because this is... You are watching my dry run of chucking an empty beer bottle into it. Happy with that. Powder coating, here we come. Thanks for watching, guys, hope you enjoyed it. This video should be up before Christmas, so if you can think of somebody who wants the daftest present imaginable, well, there she is. Feel free to like and subscribe. Any comments or suggestions, let me know. Take it easy.